cold fan.
It was pretty to see and drink coffee from inside a warm place, but being out in it, not the greatest thing. But
Yes.
we don't have to worry about snow for now.
For now, that's great. So
Yes.
what is the next big thing that we're looking forward to?
It's going to be cold.
Oh.
I know you didn't. I know you expected
no
me to
snow.
say that, right? Yeah. So that's going to be our first alert, Taylor, and everyone watching. We're looking at those freezing temperatures making a comeback as we go into the overnight hours. In fact, if you just step outside, you definitely notice that chill in the air with those temperatures already in the 40s. Now, as we wake up tomorrow morning, bundle up. Make sure you bring those pets inside because we're looking at those mid-20s across the area. 25 perhaps for a low in Birmingham, 26 in Tuscaloosa. Lower 20s to the north. So if you're worried about your pipes, you might want to drip them, but otherwise just bundle up tomorrow morning. Now, as you're heading out tomorrow, I think we'll start the day with plenty of sunshine. And notice as we go into the afternoon, we may see clouds start to increase a little bit. By lunchtime, we're mainly in the mid-40s, and I do believe we'll see those high temperatures climbing up into the upper 40s, maybe some lower 50s to the south. And these clouds are in the upper levels, so they're kind of thin. So we'll get some filtered sunshine. Sometimes they make for amazing sunsets, and if you've got wonderful pictures of that, feel free to submit that through the WBRC First Alert weather app. Now, as we look ahead at those low temperatures, those freezing temperatures are staying with us for the next several nights, maybe some upper 20s Wednesday and Thursday, but we'll see a brief warm up, a little bit above average for those lows by Saturday. But then it changes by Monday. It gets really cold. More on that coming up shortly. So the next big things are rain chance that we're tracking. I do believe we'll see clouds increase Friday, and then we'll see that rain move in on Saturday. Now, I don't expect any severe weather with this, but we could see some heavy rain, especially as you go south of I-20. It looks like we may see heavier amounts of rain to the south, and sometimes that can rob us of moisture and limit our rain. So we'll watch it very closely. Either way, some beneficial rainfall. Make sure you have a plan B if you got outdoor plans Saturday. And then as we go into Sunday, maybe some wraparound moisture, maybe a flurry or two possible. But the big story, it turns really cold. Temperatures mainly in the lower 40s, and we could end up in the 30s by Sunday afternoon. So get ready for the cold. And how much rain could we see? This could easily change over the next several days. And once again, if we get a lot of moisture to the south and it robs us, these numbers will be cut. But the idea is about an inch of rainfall going into this weekend, maybe higher totals around 2 inches as you go down towards Chilton and Coosa counties. So we'll get some rain, and then it turns really, really cold. I'm going to have details about that Arctic air that's going to be spilling in coming up shortly. Taylor?
Matt, thanks. Well, as those cold temperatures prepare to stick around this week, the city of Birmingham now has a new phone line up and running that people experiencing homelessness can call for help. That number is right there on your screen. It's 659-596-3458. You can call anytime between 7 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. 7 days a week. Alabama Power also releasing today their stats from this weekend's winter storm. Nearly 34,000 customers were affected during the duration of the event on Friday, but by Saturday morning, all of that power was restored. The hardest hit areas were Tuscaloosa, Fayette, and Anniston. Overall, Jefferson County leaders say they're pleased with the teamwork they saw during the winter system. Helen Hayes with the Jefferson County Commission saying there were only a few accidents in some trouble spots. She commended the Jefferson County Emergency Management Agency as the glue that held efforts together and emphasized that police, first responders, and others worked as a team to try to keep the community safe.
They all come together, and the Jefferson County EMA is the coordinating agency for that, and they really do a great job of getting everybody coordinated so everybody's working together behind the scenes.
Hayes said most roads are in good shape following the storm, but if you see any issues like potholes, you can report them on the MyJeffco app. Across the city, most local businesses were also closed Friday, and for some that meant big losses. WBRC spoke with the general manager of Eugene's Hot Chicken in Uptown, who noticed that after having to shut down on Friday due to icy roads, that business was still slow on Saturday. This comes after their chicken and beverage suppliers also had to close down early on that same Friday, which also contributed to their decision to close. He says the news of wintry weather is something you never want to hear when you're running a small business.
Thousands, literally thousands of dollars being lost. But you know, it's kind of one of them things where like it's part of the business, man. Because we are in the people business. Like the customers basically are our revenue.
Williamson says business typically slows around January, and this closure isn't helping. That's why he's asking you to continue supporting local restaurants and other businesses in the area. This means it's a great time to download the First Alert Weather app from your phone's app store. I personally love it. You'll be able to get weather updates for your specific location and get the latest forecast from your First Alert Weather team. Speaking of the forecast, the chance for an Arctic blast is increasing next week. Meteorologist Matt Daniel has the latest on what we can expect from this drop in temperatures and if that could mean more snow. Matt, I really hope it doesn't.
I don't want to give you any PTSD, okay? We don't want any snow. We do not want that at all. But the pattern is favorable as we go into next week. But one thing that we are certain of, and Wes was talking about this yesterday, is that we're pretty certain we're going to see a blast of very cold air return next week. And we are talking about January 20th through the 22nd. We got a strong cold front that's moving in this weekend, and behind it, very cold air. And that Arctic blast will stay with us all next week. What does that mean? Pretty positive. We're going to see those lows in the teens and 20s. High temperatures could make it only into the 30s. And once again, could there be any snow? More on that coming up shortly. Do want to show you, though, we're going to have wind as well, and that's going to make the wind chill factor an issue. Those numbers could easily be in the teens. This is next Monday, by the way, and then as we go into Tuesday as well, those wind chills could be in the 20s. So the Climate Prediction Center, they have colored the entire country just about blue. A high chance for that Arctic air spilling into the lower 48. Odds are very high. We're going to see those below average temperatures. So instead of seeing highs in the 50s, may end up in the 30s. What about precipitation? Well, a little bit drier up here, may be a better chance for a few showers, and that's where the battle is. If there's moisture in the Gulf and it makes its way to the north, that could give us a chance to get some snow. So we're watching next week. This is one model run that I'm looking at. The one that was issued earlier this afternoon was showing a chance for some wintry weather across the southeast. This one keeps the low pretty much right along the Gulf of Mexico and away from us, and then kind of moves off on the east coast. So keeps us dry while we're just remaining cold. So the setup's there. There could be a low. The big question is it going to travel to the north giving us precipitation, or is it just very cold and dry? So we'll keep a close eye on it. Of course, things will change. You'll see stuff on social media, but we'll give you that trusted information on what to expect. Taylor?
Matt, thanks. Well, even though we are still days away from that Arctic blast, the cold weather we are experiencing now could be contributing to a spike of flu cases right here in our state. Take a look at this chart from the Alabama Department of Public Health. That green spike you see there that spikes up represents flu cases in emergency departments across our state. They report that 8% of ER visits have symptoms of a respiratory virus, 6% of that being for flu. This week, UAB epidemiologist and Professor Suzanne Judd said Alabama is the hot spot for flu in the country right now. While the holidays were a big factor to that spike, Judd says our freezing weather is too. That's because it's so cold outside, most people are staying inside, potentially huddling together if they're cold. She says some people even share coats, jackets, scarves, and blankets, which increases the spread of germs and illnesses.
It is spreading rapidly, so it's on the upper end of normal, where it's spreading more rapidly than it was, say, in December, and hopefully then it will be in February. Hopefully by then we'll be back on the other side of it.
She says the key to protecting yourself from getting sick is minimizing close exposure to people, so keep your distance, stay about 3 to 6 feet away from people if you have to be around a lot of people. Dr. Judd says masks are helping in limiting the spread as well. In about 30 seconds, we talk about the cold temperatures to start off your Tuesday morning and bring you helpful tips on keeping your skin moisturized during these winter months. Stay with us.
All right, welcome back to Weather Extra. And if you got evening plans at 7 o'clock, we're likely in the lower 40s, and we'll be in the 30s by 9, and by 11 o'clock, 34 degrees. And yes, we're on our way to see those temperatures dropping below freezing. We could see some low to mid 20s in many spots, so make sure you bundle up and bring those pets inside. The good news, we're going to see plenty of sunshine tomorrow, but if you are driving, that sun glare can get in your face, so make sure you have the sunglasses. 30 degrees at 8 o'clock around lunchtime. It's lots of sunshine, 45 and upper 40s likely, but you know, with the cold air, you get dry skin. So during the cold temperatures, we may find that our skin's drier than normal. And today I spoke with Dr. Corey Hartman of Skin Wellness Dermatology right here in Birmingham about the best ways to keep your skin moisturized. It's been super cold outside, very dry, and skin, that's a problem when it comes to dry weather. So you're here to tell us some tips on what we can do to keep our skin healthy.
Absolutely. So dry, cold weather always takes its toll on our skin. Yeah. And we get it on the outside from the cold, dry temperatures, and on the inside from the heat and the things that we use to stay comfortable. All of that robs your skin of the little hydration that we're able to hold on to. So we want to make sure that we are using good, occlusive, moisturizing products that don't have any fragrance, that seal in the hydration to keep you hydrated and moisturized.
Okay. So moisturizers, that's the first thing I'm thinking of. You said no scent. Why is that?
So fragrance, some people are really sensitive to fragrances, especially if you have atopic dermatitis or eczema, and that can exacerbate those conditions. So the milder and the blander that you can keep it, the better. Okay. It's also important to not apply the moisturizer to dry skin. So the ideal time to apply a moisturizer is after you have hydrated your skin in a bath or a shower.
Okay.
I tell people that you have 3 minutes before you even leave the bathroom to apply the moisturizer. That way you're trapping the moisture in and really adding to the benefit of the moisturizing cream.
All right, so I always thought if you just had dry skin, get some moisturizer that helps. So what would you use if you already have dry skin?
Yeah, if you have dry skin, that usually means that you have a problem with your barrier. The skin barrier, and skin cells are made of ceramides, and luckily a lot of the products that we recommend these days have ceramides built in that can really act as building blocks to help to seal that hydration in. Okay. So some of these products have ceramides, some have other ingredients like hyaluronic acid. You want to look for emollients like petrolatum. Niacinamide can help to calm down itchy, irritated skin as well.
Okay, so you do have some products over here. Tell us what kind of stuff that we need to look for when it comes to those moisturizing products. I know you already mentioned a few.
Sure, yeah. So all of these are great options. They all have a touch of a different personality. Okay. If you have very, very sensitive skin, Vanicream is the one for you. It has no preservatives, no dye, no fragrance, and it's good for people with eczema. CeraVe is just a great go-to. They really made their claim to fame on building ceramides into skincare ingredients. And it also has a little hyaluronic acid in it, which is another building block of good hydration. La Roche-Posay, the Lipicar, is one of my favorites because they sneak in shea butter. Shea butter is more of an oil, so it really helps to, again, lock that moisture in. And then this Eucerin product allows for 48-hour protection. And then for people who are just at their wits' end with the driest skin possible, with the worst eczema, some of them don't mind using an emollient product like Aquaphor, which is more like a Vaseline type ointment. Okay. So if you can tolerate that on your skin and you don't mind, this really is the best type of product to use.
Go anywhere. We continue to talk about those rain chances for the end of the week and bring you the latest on those devastating wildfires in California. We'll be right back with more First Alert Weather Extra.
All right, welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. And you know, it's extra daylight. How about that? I just decided to add this for you. But today was our first day where our sunset happened at 5 o'clock. So we can say goodbye to those 4 o'clock sunsets. So I'm sure a lot of you are happy about that. Tomorrow, we're going to average about 10 hours and 10 minutes of that daylight. And we're adding about a minute of daylight each day. And then as we get into about February and March, we're going to gain about 2 extra minutes of daylight. So look at that, 10 hours and 34 minutes on February 1st. And by March 1st, we're going to have about 11 hours and 29 minutes of daylight. So those sunsets going to end up a little bit longer. So something to look forward to. Something not to look forward to is the cold, but hey, it's January. What do you expect, right? We got freezing temperatures tonight. It's going to be cool and dry throughout the week. We may briefly warm up as we go into Thursday and Friday, and then we got that rain moving in Friday night, and in particular on Saturday. But we've got a nice evening. It's a little bit of a chill, though. 49 degrees is where we're at. Winds are coming in from the north-northwest at 8 miles an hour, and a little bit of that northerly wind's going to cool us down, and sometimes that wind can stir things up and maybe prevent us from dropping this cold. So I'm hoping maybe I'm wrong with this. Maybe it'll end up being 27 in Birmingham. Maybe it'll end up being, I don't know, 25 in Aniana. But either way, below freezing and cold. So definitely want to bundle up for tomorrow morning. By tomorrow, lots of sunshine. As I was mentioned earlier, we're looking at those high temperatures in the upper 40s, maybe getting close to 50 in a few spots. And the next thing we're watching, the next big thing is those rain chances, once again ramping up as we go into Friday night into Saturday. So if you got any Friday evening plans, I think we're looking pretty decent unless the system speeds up. And that's always a possibility, and that's why we're going to fine tune that forecast, keep you updated here on Weather Extra and through the First Alert weather app. But as Wes was mentioning yesterday, and as Megan and Mickey were showing this morning, we're looking at clouds increasing late in the day Friday. And there's our next cold front. You can see all that rain moving from west to east. And I don't think we're going to see any severe weather with this, but there could be some storms along the Gulf Coast. That will move on out. And behind that, we're looking at very cold air moving in, and maybe even a passing flurry as we go into Sunday afternoon. And as I was mentioning previously, it stays cold for next week, so be ready for it. And hopefully you had already winterized your home, but if you haven't, you have another chance because it's going to be cold next week. But until then, we're going to enjoy the mild week. Sunshine Thursday, small rain chance Friday and Saturday, and look at those high temperatures by next Monday. High of 33 with lows in the upper teens and low 20s.
Matt, thank you. We're taking you now across the country to California, where those deadly wildfires continue to rage. Check out this footage of a firenado spinning up in the middle of the Palisades fire, a particularly dangerous situation. Fire warning being issued today in Southern California as those Santa Ana winds continue to intensify and fuel those flames. There are at least 24 deaths as a result of those fires, with many people still being reported missing. Meteorologist Megan Thomas joins us now with what these fires look like, according to First Alert AccuTrack.
We've all heard about the devastating fires that have taken over Southern California. The smoke plumes, imagine this, have already made it out back towards the Pacific Ocean, and it's just going to continue as the Santa Ana winds pick up, the smoke plumes get bigger, the fires can travel quicker. The air quality back over Los Angeles is typically already pretty bad, but when you factor in the smoke, the particulate matter, it is up to a moderate, moving into that dangerous range. And in fact, they've also been dealing with several power outages. I mean, with people losing homes as the fires ravage the dry conditions. They're up to 32,000 people without power in portions of Los Angeles. And did you know that Los Angeles actually averages around 3.29 inches of rain in the month of January? This is their typical second wettest month throughout the year, and they are struggling with the amount of rain. It's been very, very dry. They're under severe droughts all the way from LA down to San Diego and even up into the mountains, up through Las Vegas, down through Bullhead City. They're in that extreme drought. So this portion of the country, where typically January is their second wettest month, has been running just extremely dry. And again, that is what's causing these fires to spread rapidly. The dry vegetation mixing with the wind. We've got high wind warnings all through northern Los Angeles, up through Santa Paula and Santa Clarita. Wind advisories all the way down to San Diego. They're still expecting winds gusting upwards of 20, 30, 40, some upwards of 50 miles an hour as they come off the mountain ranges back through Los Angeles all the way down to Newport Beach. And again, the fires just continue, the dry conditions, the windy conditions, and hopefully within the next week or two, they'll be able to get them under control.
All right, we'll be right back with a final check on weather and a look at some of your weather photos right after this break.
All right, you know, we had snow, so we have to show
Of
some
course.
awesome photos. So this is a very cold looking picture right here from Gigi, and this is at Martin Lake, showing that fog there.
Very cold, Burr, but a gorgeous picture. I mean, look at that sky. And we've got this one is Tyler Young in Goodner Mountain. Some snow, the trees, and this one as well. We're going pretty fast here.
Yeah, I know, right? We've got a beautiful little, looks like maybe a sunset there.
Yeah.
A great photo there. Oh, look at this cardinal
man.
right
I know
there.
the snow hates to see a cardinal coming. They love to strut their stuff in the
Oh my
snow.
goodness. Yeah, Susan Doss sent this picture in from north of Pinson. And I will say outside my home, I had noticed a bunch of birds. And so I had a little bit of bird food and we put it out and they were just all over it. I'm like, okay.
I don't know if it's just because you notice them more, but I just feel like every time it snows, you see so many cardinals come out.
I know, but hey, it was pretty to see
It
them.
was.
The red and the white's just a really pretty picture there. But hey,
Absolutely
our
is.
7-day this week's actually not too bad. We're not looking at extreme cold. We're looking at those highs in the 50s, but then this weekend, that's when the rain moves in. And then it turns cold again. So I know a lot of people are chattering if there's going to be snow or anything like that. It's still too early. Models are showing it and then they don't. Odds are right now it's looking like a less chance it's going to happen. So we'll keep a close eye on it as we go into the next several days. But thank you so much for joining me on Weather Extra. It's been awesome.
This is great. We'll have to do it more often, right?
Yeah, just why not? You know, hey, if West Virginia need a day off, we're here.
That's right.
Enjoy your evening. We'll see you at 9. Have a great night.
you're doing like the 9 and 9:30 and 10 too, right?
Yes.
Yep.
What do I have to do for that? Okay. So you said for like a minute? Bye. Have a great evening. Okay. I'll do this, and then I'm going to take a break, and then after that, we're going to at some point have to record local news live as well, by the way. But not now.
Trusted folks, there when you need them first with the
When does this air?
news, you
Tomorrow?
know you-
Okay. All right. We're at the wall for this. To give.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll be sure to.
That's the